Hello, welcome once again to Mount Tabor Grand Lodge AF and AM YouTube channel. I'm Grandmaster Herbert M. Ware. You know, all building requires a well-conceived plan. After conception, the foundation must be laid, or in the case of a plant, the roots must be secured deeply in the soil to sustain the test of time. We must get this part right, because shifting sand, vacillation, and double-mindedness will not support growth. So as stated previously, we have laid a solid foundation. Now in the Bible, Proverbs 9:1 states that wisdom has built her house. She has hewn her 7 pillows. The first pillar we will put in place today is one of the first character words as an entered apprentice mason we are exposed to. And if you ever seek a leadership position, this characteristic is a must. As we grow older, we should begin to understand how to live life in a wholesome and integrated way. If not, we just become old fools and live lives of stress, strain, confusion, and often poverty. As we grow older, we are to stand on a well-built foundation, adding pillars of character traits that lead to wisdom and prosperity, comfort, health, and a long life as well. Proverbs 9:6 says, "Forsake your folly and live, and proceed in the way of understanding." Integrity is the first pillar we will put in place. Integrity is the quality of being honest and fair, possessing a code of morals and values. And in this video, we will cover 3 questions. We will also talk about living out of integrity. And then we will look at 5 things you can do to maintain integrity. The word integrity can mean whole or complete, not fragmented or partial. Integrity can also refer to a condition of being integrated rather than fragmented. Integrity as a way of living has to do with having all parts of one's life flow smoothly together. Also, integrity means grounded, centered, rather than confused. Now here's the big one. Integrity means coming from the heart rather than up in one's head or popular opinion. Having integrity of the heart is paramount. In the 25th Psalms, David petitions the Lord for protection, guidance, and pardon. Psalms 25:21, his prayer for deliverance says, "Let integrity and uprightness preserve me, for I wait for you." I'm placing emphasis on preserve me. Living in integrity requires a certain amount of courage and intelligence. It often means going against the grain of society in some ways. It is not about being a rebel without a cause or being a conformist to some ideology. I believe it is all about having a relationship with a set of principles and precepts that serve the greater good, and the courage to stand steadfast on them in spite of. There are 3 of the 10 Masonic decalogues I want to point out to you real quick. These correlate with Scripture and the commandments given to Moses. Decalogue number 3 says that thou shalt unceasingly war against vice. Thou shalt not do unto others anything we would not want them to do unto us. Those work hand in hand with commandments given to Moses 8, 9, and 10. Thou shalt be submissive to thy fortunes and keep burning the light of wisdom. You see, in Acts 26:13 of the Bible, it says, let the light of heaven shine all around you and those traveling with you. So you can see here that the light of life and of Jesus can shine on your whole organization because of you. Decalogue number 7 says, thou shalt avoid and flee insincere friendships, as stated in Galatians 5 verses 16 through 26. It tells us who to walk, or basically to walk by the Spirit, and how to identify those who do not. It says that in everything we will refrain from excess. And Titus 1:7 says, do not be self-willed, quick-tempered, addicted to vices, ready to fight or argue, and seek ill-gotten gains. So these decalogues coincide with the commandments. The last one I wanted to point out is number 9, that says, thou shalt hear much, speak little, act well, forget injury, render good for evil, and I will not misuse my strength or superiority. If we go to 2 Chronicles 7:14, it says, humility, prayer, devotion, and repentance will bring us blessings. So you can see the decalogues correlate with the word integrity. It points out some of the necessities of having that in our lives. 3 of the questions I want to pose to you and discuss real quick is, number 1, why is integrity often associated with the Bible and principles of living such as 10 Commandments and the Golden Rule? Well, a person might attend a church on Sundays and pray for guidance, but then when faced with a situation, that same person might resort to cheating, lying, or some other thoroughly unbiblical method of solving the problems. Also, a person may fail to see the larger picture of oneself as a member of humanity, a brother or sister, or to everyone, or a child of God like everyone else. Without integrity, you cannot follow God's instructions for creation and interdependency. Now, interdependency basically states that every man has a gift and a talent and is of use to his fellow man. So no man is an island, and we all were put here to create and comprise a whole. Proverbs 20 verse 7 states that a righteous man walks in his integrity. How blessed are his sons after him. Now, let's look at that, because here's what it's telling me. Not only does integrity benefit me, but it will benefit my generations to come. So if we're concerned with the legacy, if we're concerned with how our children will fare in life, it starts with me. It starts with you. Number 2, the second question is, why is integrity associated with the search of truth? A person of integrity seeks truth in all things at all times. Truth is that which best explains how life is to be lived and what life is all about at its deepest level. Truth is different from honesty. Honesty has to do with one's speech and actions. Truth is more of an ultimate and vague subject that has to do with seeking for and being guided by the highest wisdom at any time, even if it brings temporal hardships. Knowing that everything on God's green earth is temporary. Question number 3. Excuse me. Can you live in integrity in one area of your life, but be out of integrity in others? The answer is yes. Of course. All the time. A crooked businessman might be a wonderful father, or a wife or mother might love and care well for her children, but cheat on her husband. In these two cases, neither person is living in integrity, or they would correct their behavior in all areas of their life. If we look at Proverbs 11:3, it says, integrity of the upright will guide them. The crookedness of the treacherous will destroy them. So, in living out of integrity, this means living in some way a life out of balance, and usually a life of secret, dishonesty, cheating, and lying. The core concept of integrity is about the fullness of self and requires a spiritual and transformative journey. What is the true meaning of integrity? Integrity is one of the most misunderstood and misused words in organizations. Integrity is defined as a firm adherence to a code of especially moral or artistic values, incorruptibility, unimpaired, complete, undivided. In ethics, integrity is regarded as the honesty and the truthfulness or consistency in one's actions. Proverbs 10:9 says, walks in integrity, you walk surely. If you pervert your ways, you will be found out. Consistency is all about the same regardless, being the same regardless of the situation. Consistency is a choice we make as leaders in every single day, even when the situation or the environment is not great. If you just had an argument with the person before walking into your next meeting, consistency means that you make a conscious decision to set that argument aside, release yourself from that previous encounter of negativity, and come to this new meeting, this next meeting, anew, fresh, with a fresh attitude. You know, honesty in one's actions require intentionality and thought. So, how honest are your behaviors, your actions, your words, and with other people and those you lead? Do you want to create a culture of love, but do you allow or participate publicly or privately in berating and belittling your peers or junior craft? Integrity requires an inner sense of wholeness and consistency of character. When you are in integrity, people should be able to visibly see it through your actions, your words, decisions, methods, and outcomes. When you are whole and consistent, there's only one you. You bring that same you wherever you are, regardless of the circumstances. You don't leave part of yourself behind. You don't have a work you, a family you, a social you, a Masonic you, a church you. You are you all the time, like a cube, the same on all sides. Titus 2 verses 7 and 8 says, in all things, and I love the word all because all means just what it says. You cannot add, you cannot subtract, you cannot divide, you can't do anything to it because it is all. In all things, show yourself as an example of good deeds with purity, doctrine, dignified, with sound speech. So given the real definition of integrity, we recognize that it is actually extremely difficult to be in integrity 100% of the time. We aspire to be in integrity, but sometimes we mess up. Sometimes Our emotions get the best of us. So what does it take to be someone who leads with integrity? It takes consciousness and choice. Here are 5 quick things that the great leaders choose to do to maintain their integrity. Number 1, they intentionally reflect upon what to say, how to behave, how to make decisions in a way that is reflective of his or her values and beliefs. Number 2, they attempt to be the same authentic person regardless of the situation. You can meet this leader with their family, their friends, the church, or at a boardroom. You will see a consistency in their behavior, actions, and words. You will recognize this person no matter what environment he or she is in. Number 3, they do recognize, great leaders do recognize the impact he or she has on others, and they are conscious of how his or her behavior and words impact those around them, intentionally and unintentionally. So when this leader is out of integrity, he or she knows that they need to stop, acknowledge, apologize, and correct themselves, displaying some other characteristics we have become familiar with: humility, authenticity, and showing their focus on others. The 4th thing that great leaders do is actively focus on the development of character and wholeness both in themselves and others. These leaders spend time intentionally on this area through various means, such as reading, getting coached, listening to wise counsel of others, going to leadership development courses or seminars, and reflecting on how to develop character in themselves and others. The 5th thing that great leaders do to maintain their integrity is that their aims is to walk in integrity, and as others hopefully see that, they will be drawn to this. So they choose to inspire others to be on the same journey of the lifelong pursuit of wholeness and ultimately integrity. You know, when I see a person who really have integrity, I recognize them. I'm able to see what they say and hear what they do. In other words, they are consistent. Their actions, their words are all congruent. They are in line with one another. A man or a mason of integrity will never willfully or intentionally do anything to hurt, harm, or hinder another man or mason, known or unknown. Time does reveal the integrity of a person. So finally, integrity suggests a quality of being deeply in love with yourself, your soul, and your spirit, so that you live as your own person, unaffected or minimally affected by what others want you to do or be. I do want to thank you for tuning in. Feel free to Google me, Google Mount Tabor Grand Lodge. Look at us on the Facebook website. Thank you for tuning in again to the YouTube channel. Give us your comments, subscribe for a notification. And I want you all to be blessed. So Moe B. Thank you.